today we're recording for Magical Mads podcast. We are going to get started. The topic is flowing like water. So that's what I'm going to be touching on. Alright, and I'm using my new mic that I got from Amazon. I'm so excited. So excited. So it actually came with like a USB to USB-C. And I need a USB-C to USB-C. So I am just using the cord from my laptop. I've never recorded before, but we're gonna do it. Alright. For hearing myself purposes, so I do not hear myself. I can still hear myself, but it's like a little better. I don't know. It's hard to explain, okay? Yeah, I'll explain it to you. Alright, so we're gonna get started. I'm so excited. Yay, 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 yay. Alright. Hello and welcome to the Magical Mads podcast. I'm so stoked to have you here and to be learning and expanding and growing with you. On this week's podcast, we're going to be talking about flowing like water, the nature of electric water, living water, and kind of how we can emulate that within our own systems, within our own body ecosystems. So it's going to be a really juicy topic today. I'm so excited to dive into this topic. I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time, and I'm just really excited to be able to finally get to share all this knowledge that I have on the subject of living water. And hopefully it can enlighten you in some ways and expand your knowledge, maybe your curiosity. And if you do have any questions that come up for you, feel free to hit me up. I am an open book as far as it comes to resources. I have a ton of resources on my website, and I'm always here to answer questions in the DMs on Insta. So, you know what it is? Let's get into it. I fucking love myself! Sound quality is so good. I'm sure that you have heard of someone talking about the fountain of youth, or maybe you've noticed that a lot of money words have to do with water, maritime law. It's interesting that when we think of youth and abundance, water is almost inherently an aspect of that. You know, our ancestors cherished water. They honored the waters, the seas, the oceans. They worked with the ecosystems. And they really connected themselves to nature in a way where it allowed them to see nature as a reflection of themselves. And tap Tapping into this way of knowledge, this way of being with the world, opens you up to a sort of flow in a water web, which creates this endless ease of abundance and joy and youth and curiosity and ultimately happiness, contentment in your reality, regardless of the actual circumstance of your reality. When you learn to be like water, when you learn to flow like water, you learn what it truly is to be in turn of I am consciousness. You learn what it means to show up authentically. You learn that self-preservation is okay, that boundaries are okay, that saying no, that walking away is absolutely okay. When we learn to flow like water, we learn to let ourselves go downstream with the river that is already flowing. And we let ourselves be held in the chaos that is order of the universe. We let ourselves be guided through the stream, around the obstacles, facing whatever comes in our way. Water teaches us life, abundance, and youth are aspects of life. Contentment, disassociation, letting go. They are all aspects of life, even death. And water, water is consciousness, and water recognizes that holding on to something that is meant to flow away from you is perilous. Water is alive. Water is living. Water understands. You are water. Almost all of you is made up of water. You are understanding. You are omniscient. You have all of the knowledge within you that is needed for your life experience. When you learn to connect with the water in your body on an intimate level, on a cellular level, when you learn to connect with the aspects of your body on a cellular level, you open yourself up to water consciousness, which is really oneness consciousness, which is the knowing that we are all part of another divine body. We are all organisms that make up a whole. And in ourselves, we are whole, and we have organisms within us. As within, so without. As and show up in the ways that best suit our soul. Collectively as a whole, and also individually as a whole. This is the knowing of water. Water is the same molecule, whether it is together or separate. The amount of water does not dictate its relevance. Water simply is water. The same is true for you and me. Consciousness is consciousness, which is why equality does exist, because we all have the capability of tapping in to our own water and learning about ourselves, about our purpose, about how we're meant to show up in the world. And we're meant to expand on our talents and our capabilities. We're meant to monetize these aspects of ourselves, and we're meant to be wildly successful. Just as water is successful in flowing down a stream, we are to be successful in flowing through the life of our dreams. Water is persistent. Water knows without a doubt its purpose, and that is life. And when you embody that consciousness, when you start to embody the knowingness and the assurity of what it means to be alive, and you begin connecting yourself to the earth and connecting yourself to your innate purpose here on this physical plane, you move mountains. Things will magically line up for you. Magic will be created all around you, because when you are walking in alignment with the elements of the earth, you are walking in alignment with your greater body. You are walking in alignment with your higher self. This isn't a fad. This is a lifestyle. And if you're listening to this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly how powerful your individual actions can be in affecting the people, experiences, places, happenings around you. You are aware of your impact. And now it's time to decide, what are you going to do with that impact? How are you going to add to the whole? What minerals are you adding to your body? What juice are you feeling inside? Is that sustainable? Do you feel balanced? Do you feel lucky? Why? How can you make yourself feel better? How can you make your waters clearer? How can you feel the feeling of clarity once more? You don't have to figure it out, but asking the question is enough to let your curiosity and your youth bring you back to the excitement of the present moment. In your youth, you are free. And in the flow, you find you. So breaky break. As I mentioned before, water actually holds memory. So water is a living and conscious being, and its ability to create life is based on its ability to hold memory. So it remembers combinations that work and don't work for life, and it knows that the combination H2 is prosperous for life. And so, because of this, a lot of living waters around the world, which are waters that have an actual charge to them, these are living waters, waters that hold a dense amount of oneness consciousness within them. These waters, like areas of Mount Shasta, waterfalls in areas of Thailand, Bali, the fountains of youth around the world, any of these areas that claim to have this charged living water is water that registers with a negative ORP, and this means that the water itself has a negative charge. And the reason that this is good and that it works well with our bodies is because everything in this planet, on this physical plane in the 3D world, has an electromagnetic field, and that means that it has an electromagnetic charge. And as conscious beings who have living waters within us, the waters within us are actually positively charged. And so because of this, the opposite is attracted to us so that we can balance ourselves within. I don't like the way I said that. Normally registers at a negative ORP of at least 400, which means that it is alkaline. Any positive ORP would register above 0 and be positive, and that would mean that it is acidic, meaning that it is below 7 on the pH scale. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with something being alkaline or acidic. It's actually very important that we keep to neutrality. Neutrality is like the clarity space, and so that's why it's good for us to balance ourselves by eating alkaline foods, since our environment is so toxic. When we are intaking things that are acidic consistently, it creates an acidic environment within our system, and this can create disease in the long run. When we supplement our toxic environment with healthy habits, we can create a seemingly healthy environment around us based on our actions rather than the actual circumstances of our physical environment. So this is why I drink Kangen water, which is living water that comes from my K8 machine that I bought about 2 or 3 years ago now. And I have absolutely seen such a change in my health and overall living quality, as well as like the way that I think. I literally have seen brain changes as far as like rewriting past trauma, understanding myself and my beliefs a bit further, and also reconditioning myself in various ways pertaining to that. So this water, living water, and working with living water, not only drinking it, but showering in it, eating with the water, honoring it, using it for my altars and things like that, as well as traveling around to places on the planet that also have these living waters naturally. I've really connected myself to water consciousness, and this is also directly related to Mary Magdalene consciousness and Mother Earth consciousness, and this feminine energy, once you allow it into your life, it kind of opens you up like a portal. It opens up your heart. It allows you to forgive. It allows you to forget and move forward and move on. And it really helps you to understand the reasoning behind, why you were clinging on. And obviously you have to do the conscious work that goes along with this, but typically people who are into this kind of thing are willing to take those precautions or measures. And I haven't experienced this level of opening with anything else, and I've done a lot of psychedelics. I've even done ayahuasca. I've had many mushroom experiences, and I've worked with Mary for a long time, as well as Hape, and I have never had something open me up the way that this water does. And the reason is because of the microbiology of the water, which I'm going to get into a little bit now, not in sciencey terms, but just so you can understand it. So let's dive into that a little bit further. So the reason that this water is so powerful has to do with the way that it is structured. Some people reference it as being microclustered, but what really is the case is the composition of hydrogen molecules in the cell. So because this is hydrogen-rich alkalized water, that means that the water has gone through a process of electrolysis, which is essentially splitting away the oxygen ions from the hydrogen ions and then adding back extra hydrogen ions as a byproduct of combining those oxygen ions. And this creates one hose of alkalized water and one hose of acidic water. And both are living as they both have a charge and are mineralized. So a lot of water systems, what they'll do is they'll actually take out the minerals which are necessary for our bodies, and this doesn't help us whatsoever. It doesn't help us in terms of hydration or nutrition or anything like that. It actually causes us to become more bloated. So this is usually what happens with bottled water is you'll drink a lot of water, but then you won't really feel like you're satisfied in terms of hydration, and then a lot of the water will stay in your stomach and or you'll pee it out right away. And this is literally because your body is not absorbing any of that water because the molecules are too big and they have too many attachments to the hydrogen ions that don't allow the hydrogen ions to permeate the walls of your cells in order to actually hydrate you. And this is the main difference between common water and regular water, is it is structured in a way where the hydrogen molecules can permeate the cell walls of your mitochondria, into your mitochondria, and it also passes the blood-brain barrier, which is actually allowing you, when that happens, it actually allows you to hydrate your brain, which is not something that most people are doing because the bottled water simply does not allow for that. And when you begin to drink the water, you start to open up these new pathways in your brain because you're actually hydrating your brain on a cellular level. You're hydrating all aspects of your being, even your liver, like all aspects of every organ are being hydrated and permeating the cell walls and giving you that proper hydration. So you begin to think different. Your body is literally chemically changing, and you're moving from a state of fight or flight or fawn or freeze to actually being decisive in your reality and taking charge of your life and walking your own path, you know? And the reason is because when we hydrate our brain in this way, it actually allows us to be more susceptible and acceptable of change. And this is because we are activating the realm of our brain that focuses on relaxation, whereas 99% of the time our brain is being activated towards action, because we are taught that action is what is going to get us to where we want to go. Action is going to, propel us into the future. But what this water does is it relaxes your nervous system, which allows you to feel more relaxed in life, no matter what you're doing, where you're going, what you're showing up as. It allows you to be a more easeful and flowful version of that. And then because of that, you are more detached. You are not clinging on to things because your understanding of impermanence increases, and your ability to change also increases, and you're more willing to change because you already had a cellular change on a DNA level from starting to drink the water, which when you drink the water, it literally connects you to the electromagnetic field of the earth on a deeper level. So that's why this is so powerful, and that's why understanding living waters is so powerful. So I want to talk a little bit more about the way living waters flow. This is so good. So good! Because water is ancient and the source of all life, it definitely has had to let go of some things, for sure. I think that we can all see how that has come to be. So it can be said that water is very good at detachment. And this goes back again to the structure of living water, which is to let go. So because living water has a charge, that means that it is living. So it's constantly in movement, When something is dead, when something doesn't have any life, like an inanimate object, it is still, it is not moving. But when something has life on a cellular level, whether you can see it or not, there's movement. And so this is present when you look at the water come out of the spout of the K8 machine. You can see like the bubbles. It's like not even really bubbles, it's like active hydrogen molecules, and you can see them bouncing around like as an energy source, and it's absolutely beautiful. But they wouldn't be able to bounce around like that if they were so stuck to each other. And this is the key for life. So this is why studying water can really help us to understand how to flow more in life. So the key to life is not to be stuck to people or places or experiences. Yes, you can have goals. Yes, you can have dreams. Yes, you can have aspirations. But do not let those things hold you back from accomplishing other things. Do not let those things hold you back from doing what you really want to do. Do not let those goals be other people's goals that they are projecting onto you. Do not allow yourself to be susceptible to group think, which is static, which is dead, which is bulky, which is dense, and it doesn't feel good. Your productivity, your passion, your persistence, your life, it lies in being able to be independent. So independent that you are able to make your own decisions, that you are able to decide when to go somewhere, when to do something, that you are able to embody all the aspects of yourself to a point where you don't need the validation of anyone outside of you. You know that how you move is perfect and that you're contributing to the whole in whatever way feels good for you. You move in a state of ease and grace, and it is not up to you to check in with other people to see if it's okay if you do a certain thing or if you move a certain way. You know that you are protected and you move in alignment with the things that feel like you should do them. You know what to do. You are tuned in, tapped in, turned on with the world around you, to the collective consciousness around you, to the web around you. And when you tap into that net, when you tap into that web, you allow yourself to express consciousness in a fuller, more embodied way that contributes to our higher self, that helps the world progress in so many ways. And the reason is because you're not attached. You're not attached. You see, so what happens is two hydrogen molecules break away from each other so that two more hydrogen molecules can come together, so that two more hydrogen molecules can come together. So it's this continuous cycle of breaking away from each other to come back, to break away, to come back, to break away, to come back. And this is the cycle of life. We are constantly evolving energy through our beings, and we do this through communication, conversation, and a lot of people do it through death, but it doesn't have to be just through death. You can release energy at any point in time. And this is what water teaches us, that we can release at any time in order to achieve something new. We can let go of something whenever we feel, so that we can move forward and go in a new direction. We're allowed to do that. That's what water teaches us. And having that understanding allows you to understand and feel into unconditional love. It allows you to see how you can love someone even if they leave you. It allows you to see how you can love a certain situation even though you don't want it anymore, or you can honor a certain person even though you don't want them anymore. This is the art of water. This is the art of flow. When you flow like water, you learn to let go. When you learn to show up in unconditional love for all scenarios, all people, all places, when you refrain from gossip, when you look towards the light in all situations, this is when you have mastered the consciousness of water. And you can do this without drinking living water. You can attune your waters to the frequency of life. But drinking living waters does significantly help, and it takes a little bit of the pressure off, I'll say. But I want you to know that it's so possible to obtain the sense of like ease and flow that you want in your life. It's just a matter of being being able to let go of the things that don't make you feel easeful or flowful, because your focus on them is what is creating the discord. It's what's creating the energy that's not making you happy. And the only reason that that's persisting is because you're not setting those boundaries. You're not learning to let go. You're not learning to walk away. And you deserve better. You deserve to walk away. You deserve to have a period of detachment so that you can come back to this level of success in a better way that feels good and that aligns with what you're truly looking to get out of life. You can have everything that you think that you want and still be unhappy. It's about learning to continuously surrender to the flow of what makes you happy here in the present moment, and allowing yourself to experience the things that you associate with things that make you happy. So for example, if making sales in your business makes you really happy, let yourself envision that constantly. Let yourself be there now, constantly. That's another secret of water. Time does not exist. Time is a circle in water. Time is nothing but an illusion. Time can be a tool or it can be a trap. It's up to you to decide how you're going to use it. When you use time as a tool, you are not limiting yourself by time, but rather using time as a guide to gain momentum towards your goals. This is the work. And this is what I teach my clients. This is the foundation for the energy work that I do in my business. It's all built on water and the laws of life, because I believe that business should be ingrained with life and commerce should be boosted by life, you know? Business should boost life, not take away from it, not limit it. It should be an adding factor. And that's why this is my methodology. That's why this is the foundation. That's why I teach the way that I do, because I truly believe that the energetics behind life are so essential in business and in life. So if you're not implementing them in your regular life either, that's not very helpful, but you should do that. You should do that. On a real note, if you would like help or assistance in understanding any of these topics or in diving deeper into the world of water, I am happy to be your guide. You can always check out some free resources at magicalmads.com, or you can visit my instagram.com/magicalmads to view some of the informative posts that I've put out about water. I have a lot of reels, and I also have a highlight on there that you can check out. It's all about water, Kangen water, and soaking produce. And I am eager to continue talking about this and weaving this more thoroughly into how I show up in the online space, because truly without water I would not be where I am today, and without connecting to my own waters I would not be the person I am today. So I am truly grateful to have the knowledge that I do and to be expanding in the way that I am continuously, through letting go and through attaching, through healthy attachments that allow freedom and detachment. So with all of that being said, thank you so much for joining me on this episode of the podcast. I am looking forward to making more of these, and I hope you guys like the new sound quality. I got a new mic and I'm really stoked about it. If you want to do your own podcast, Anchor is a great way to do that. I have some info about that in here, and then I will list this microphone on my Instagram for anyone who wants to purchase it. I just got it on Amazon, but absolutely amazing. The quality's great, super cheap. So we love that. But yeah, I am sending you so much love and grace and ease and flow on your journey, and I'm looking forward to seeing us work together in the future. Much love. Mahalo. Let's fucking go. Let's go. And just like that, we done.